What up? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of A Dialogue on Basketball with yours truly, Wall Street Hit My Line, the NBA pundit that you didn't think you needed, but you absolutely do. So welcome back. And if you haven't joined us before, welcome for the first time. Welcome. Today, I want to talk about Michael Jordan, who is regarded by many as the greatest basketball player to ever walk this earth. And I want to talk about what would have happened if he never retired to go and play minor league baseball. So for those of you who don't know, Michael Jordan retired, I guess 3 times in his career, with the third time being the final time. But the first time he retired occurred in 1993, I believe, or it might have been 1994. In 1994, he retired to play minor league baseball with the Chicago White Sox. And he was eventually assigned to the minor league program that the White Sox had in place. And then he played for the Birmingham Barons, a Double-A minor league affiliate of the Chicago White Sox. And he played decent, wasn't, the greatest baseball player of all time, but I don't think anyone was expecting him to do so. And the reason that he kind of left the NBA to pursue this is because, right around this time is when his father tragically passed away, and was not natural causes. He was the victim of a carjacking that turned fatal. And it was a very rough time for Mike and, his family. And, he wanted to basically do, this, in spirit of his father. And, he pursued it, he did it. And, I think that's all you can really do as a person is just try to do things. And if it works out, great. If it doesn't work out, then, no harm, no foul. You did what you had to do and you tried your best, right? But main point is that he retired in 1993. He retired in 1993. And he was basically out of the league for a season and a half. So in the season, 1993 to 1994 season, the Bulls still went 55-27. But they lost in the second round of the Eastern Conference playoffs in a 7-game series against the New York Knicks. And then the season after that, the 1994 to 1995 season, Jordan returned to the team, and he only played part of the season. And I believe when he returned, they were dead even on the record that they had for the season. I think it was 31-31. And so they finished out the season. Michael Jordan came back wearing his, famous or maybe infamous number 45, because they had already retired Michael Jordan's number. And even though, he could have worn the number, he decided to wear number 45, which is what I think he was wearing when he was playing baseball. But so the point being is that he kind of fell out of, his routine. And, the team was still good. They had a lot of talent, but they were not, what they were supposed to be. So, his last full season that he played in 1992 to 93, he was leading the league in scoring, and he had been doing that for 7 straight seasons, including that year. Finished that year averaging 32.6 points per game. And then did not return until the 94-95 season, where he only played 17 games. And then he played with them in the playoffs, but they wound up losing, I believe, in the second round again to the Orlando Magic. So the real question here is the 6 championships that Michael Jordan won were from 1990 to 1993, where he had his first three-peat. Then he retired. And then the 1994-95 season where he came back, mid-year, basically towards the end of the season, only played 17 games. They lose in the second round to the Orlando Magic. Then his second three-peat was the 3 seasons following that. So if he had actually played the 93-94 season in the full 94-95 season, a lot of people think that Michael Jordan could have won 8 straight championships, which in that era of the NBA would have been unheard of, just absolutely unheard of. Bill Russell won 11 championships, but that was in the 60s. So that was a much different league, a much different time. This really would have been like something that, even in the modern NBA now would be just unheard of and probably would never be replicated again. So my thoughts are, I honestly think he probably would have won at least one more in that time, because that was truly like his true prime. And to win 8 straight, playing from October to June every single year, and then also playing like in the Olympics, during this time, that would have been insane. But if he had pulled it off, there would have been absolutely no doubt in anyone's mind that he is the greatest player of all time. And to a lot of people, that's still the case, even though he, retired and then came back and, kind of missed, a significant portion of his prime. People will still regard him as the greatest basketball player of all time, which is fair. I totally understand that point. But it's just interesting to speculate and think about, what it could have been, right? And I think just the number 45, Michael Jordan, is just such an interesting chapter in that era. And it's, whenever a player has kind of like a number change, it's always a big thing, right? Like LeBron going from 23 to 6 and then back to 23, or Kobe going from 8 to 24. It's always an interesting concept, and it kind of just marks a new chapter and like a refresher for that player, right? It just gives them like a new sense of identity, and it's super cool. It's a super cool thing to see. So Michael Jordan definitely takes the cake though for, retiring so many times and not actually retiring. Like, I don't know if we'll ever see a player do that again, where, retires once, comes back, retires again, and then comes back and plays for the Wizards, and then finally retires a third time, and it's like, okay, now I'm done, right? But it's like every time he came back, he was still like just this amazing player. Still has the NBA record for highest career scoring average at 30.1 points per game. Was an incredible defensive player. He's just one of a kind, really. And, as great as Kobe Bryant was, I think Michael Jordan just put a different spin on it, and, deserves every type of accolade and recognition he's gotten over the years, because to do something like this and to play as many games as he played, like he frequently played 82 games in a season. Like, there's very few seasons where he did not play 82. And if he didn't play 82, he played, 88 to 89, played 81, 92 to 93, played 78. And then when he came back and played with the Wizards, he missed, 20 games in that 01 to 02 season. And then his last year in the league, where he was, 39 years old, played 82 games. It's just like the guy didn't know what load management was. And it's amazing how different the league is now. But, would he have won 8 straight championships? We can only speculate. But I do think if he had never retired that first time, we'd probably see a Michael Jordan that has at least 7 rings. I don't know if he was going to win 8 straight, but he would have at least 7. Definitely at least 7. It would have had, a 4-peat on some level, either on the front end or the back end of those 2 3-peats. So, let me know what you guys think. Do you think if Michael Jordan never went and played baseball that he'd be an 8-time champion, would have won 8 straight? Or do you think, he would have fallen off and, maybe not have even won the second 3-peat? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. I'll catch you with the next one. Deuces.